It's really getting concerning out here, guys. We're hearing reports of people saying, I'm just ready to die. Social security clawbacks drive some into homelessness. Guys, it is literally getting crazy out here. I mean, we've got so much going on. I mean, we're dead smack in the middle of a national crisis. I mean, we got China threatening the United States like never before. You've got President Biden significantly concerned about this. In fact, we've actually recently been threatened by President Biden. Americans have been threatened by President Biden's mention of war if we don't continue to support the Ukraine, funding the Ukraine. And of course, let's not forget about the never-ending illness. CDC warning Americans about a new health risk. How many risks are there? I mean, how many crises can the American deal with? And then, of course, we've got this class action lawsuit alleging discrimination filed against Navy Federal after an exclusive interview that I definitely want to share with you guys here. And it looks like a little bit of a discrimination, racial discrimination here. I'm looking at a black guy who apparently doesn't look very happy here. I'm going to share this detail with you guys here. Now, if you haven't already, please just take a quick second, hit the like button for the video. It really helps out a lot. And if you appreciate content like this, breaking news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's totally free. I'd love to have you guys a part of the community. So the largest credit union in the United States right now is facing brand new scrutiny over racial disparities in its mortgage lending following a CNN investigative report with a class action lawsuit filed Monday alleging that the lender discriminated against Black and Latino applicants, and a senior congressional Democrat demanding answers about its practices. Now, first of all, how many of you guys have even heard of Navy Federal Credit Union? Let me know in the comments down below if you've heard of them, if you bank with them, if you know someone who does, or if you've ever been feeling like you've been discriminated against when it comes to maybe getting a loan, or discriminated against maybe getting a credit card or something like that. Let me know you guys' experience. The complaint against Navy Federal Credit Union filed in federal court in Virginia just this week comes on the heels of CNN's story, which found the credit union had the widest disparity in conventional mortgage approval rates between white and Black borrowers of any major lender last year. Wow, guys, I can't believe we're dealing with this in 2023 going into 2024. I would hope to think that all sorts of, racial discrimination would have been long behind us. Quote, when describing its corporate values, Navy Federal claims that it champions community and that it dedicated to embracing and celebrating diversity and inclusion in all communities that it serves. It goes on to say, but Navy Federal's claims of community support are meaningless in the face of these actions, systemic discrimination in housing in violation of federal law. Wow. Unbelievable. This thing is pretty serious. They're taking this to the courthouse. It goes on to say that the credit union didn't respond to CNN's request for comment this week. Wonder why? You would think that with such allegations that a credit union, especially allegations on this level, a credit union would definitely want to speak up and share their side of the story on this one, right? So it goes on to say on Tuesday, it announced that it had hired Debo. Is that the dude from next Friday? Anyway, so on Tuesday, it announced that it hired Debo P. I can't pronounce that last name, a leading civil rights attorney and former commissioner of the United States Commission on Civil Rights, to assess our mortgage lending policies and practices and make recommendations to drive further access to home ownership. So, based on that alone, it certainly sounds like they're trying to clean up their act. I don't know if it's too late. You guys let me know what you think on that one. I think this is a little interesting coming out here as of recent. Navy Federal, which lends to military service members, defense personnel, veterans, and their families, approved more than 75% of white borrowers who applied for a new conventional home purchase mortgage in 2022, at least according to the most recent data available from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But less than 50% of Black borrowers who applied for the same type of loan were approved. Now, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is there a chance that maybe the white applicants have better credit, maybe better debt to income ratios, maybe better job stability? I'm just trying to think of all the maybe higher income. I'm just trying to think of all of the other factors that could possibly come into play. Because I would hate to think that it's really a racism, discrimination kind of deal here. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. It goes on to say, in total, the credit union rejected about 3,700 black applicants for home purchase mortgages last year, potentially blocking them from home ownership just as interest rates spiked. Kind of putting the this segment of the population behind the eight ball. Because think about it, if you got denied for mortgages last year, and mortgage rates were say 5%, and then you were fumbling around trying to get approved, and you hadn't got approved until today. Well, today interest rates are nearly 8%. So this presents a significant stonewall for people being able to get access to affordable housing. U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, the ranking Democratic member of the House Financial Services Committee, said in a statement that she was appalled by CNN's findings. She says that Navy Federal must explain both to Congress and their members how such practices took place, what immediate steps are being taken to correct the harm that was done. There could be substantial harm here. And who in management will be held responsible. This comes from Maxine Waters, one of our congresswomen. Sherelle Jacob, a 40-year-old black resident of Washington State, and her husband, who's in the armed services, together make approximately $200,000 in salary. They have no debt, meaning they're debt-free. Dave Ramsey would be proud. They have ample savings and both have exceptional credit scores above 800, according to the complaint. Well, there goes my devil's advocate being thrown out the window. I mean, here you have like the seemingly the most ideal mortgage applicant candidate right here being denied, and they happen to be black. Very interesting. $200,000 a year in annual salary, no debt, ample savings, both have exceptional credit scores above 800. So it's not like you had like one person with a credit score of 800 and the spouse had a 550 credit score. They both have credit scores over 800. The suit says that Jacob and her husband sought a mortgage from Navy Federal in October 2023 to support their purchase of a modest family home and were denied before being approved by another lender. Very interesting. So Navy Federal Credit Union denied this black couple, but yet another mortgage institution approved them right after. Very, very interesting. So I'm going to follow up on this one, guys. What do you think? What do you think about this whole situation? Is there something that is being left out here? I would love to hear from you guys. Now, there's another situation that's unfolding here. We've been talking a lot about the Social Security crisis that's underway. A lot of you guys are receiving, you've notified me and let me know that you've gotten letters from the Social Security Administration saying that, you owe money and whatnot. Well, this one person, basically, they're saying that they're just waiting to die. Social Security clawback drives some into homelessness. Guys, I told you this is a very serious situation. More than a year after the federal government first cut off her disabilities, Denise Woods drives nightly to strip malls, truck stops, and parking lots around Savannah, Georgia, looking for a safe place to sleep in her Chevy. This is unbelievable. It sounds like this woman is living out of her car or out of her truck or SUV. Woods, who's 51 years old, said that she had rented a 3-bedroom house that she shared with her adult son and grandson until March of 2022, when the government terminated her disability payments without notice. It sounds like she might have been on SSDI or maybe SSI from the Social Security Administration. So according to the letters by the Social Security Administration, the agency determined that it had been overpaying Woods and demanded she send back nearly $58,000. Now, first of all, anybody who's on Social Security SSDI, chances are doesn't have anywhere near $5,800. Probably wouldn't even have an extra $58 to spare, let alone $58,000. Woods couldn't come up with the money, so until February 2026, the agency is withholding the $2,048 in disability that she would have received every single month. They just cut her off. That doesn't make any sense. For this to happen here in the United States, it is deplorable, if you ask me. Kalolo Kajazi, who's the acting commissioner of the Social Security Administration, told a congressional committee in October that her agency notifies recipients when they've received overpayments and works to help those who want to establish repayment plans or who seek waiver of the debt. Well, how did we just escalate from, hey, you owe us some money, to we're just not going to pay you at all? Like, I don't know if we're missing some details here, but to just cut this woman off entirely, that just seems entirely unfair. I got a comment here. Janet Dufresne, 4448. She said, this is a slap in the face to all seniors. They have the nerve to call this an entitlement to people who worked and paid into it. Fire her. Why doesn't the Senate pay back the money that they helped themselves to every time that there was a surplus? Sorry, I'm just venting, but this stinks to high heaven. Oh, but Biden's going to tax the rich. Yeah, a lot of people are getting upset about, how Biden is handling this. Meanwhile, the United States government, Biden continues to send U.S. taxpayer dollars over to the Ukraine to fund wars overseas. I can definitely understand the frustration that a lot of people are feeling right now. Sharon Ally 2023 said, they're taking almost $150 out of my check ever since September for overpayment. I don't believe I was overpaid. I think that they are lying. So here's the thing. How do you fight the Social Security Administration? How do you state your case? Well, evidently there's some method that you can use to dispute any type of claim that you may owe money to the Social Security Administration. So the method is out there. How easy is it? How fair is it? That's another question. Social Security increase of 3.2% is a slap in the face when inflation is as high as it is. Maybe if Biden's kids would pay their taxes, they could afford to help seniors and the disabled keep up. So, this is coming from real_GS. Lazar Thompson says, if we can afford to give other countries trillions of dollars, now that we know of this, we should be able to increase our Social Security so that people don't have to eat trash. And if it's not eating trash, I don't know if you guys were on my previous video. There was a woman whose comment I had shared with you guys where she admittedly is eating cat food to survive. She said that she doesn't have enough money to eat otherwise, and cat food is the only type of food that she can afford, given how little income she has in comparison to her cost of living and expenses. It's getting rough out here, guys. But the simple fact of the matter here is, the SSA has a very painful legacy here of excluding Black people from benefits. Now, this is a new one. Today, the agency's own published research shows its overpayments often hit Black and Hispanic people. What is going on here with Black and Hispanic people getting the short end of the stick here? Because if we look here at the Navy Federal Credit Union article here, it is clearly facing some scrutiny over some racial disparities, with a class action lawsuit filed Monday alleging that the lenders discriminated against Black and Latino applicants. So, is the system literally coming after this demographic of our population? The poorest of the poor, those with the least education and those with medical conditions are unlikely to improve. And it gets worse, guys. Woods is one of the millions who have been targeted in the Social Security Administration's attempt to claw back billions of dollars that it says wrongly sent to beneficiaries. This is wild, guys. And you would think that, with President Biden and his 2024 presidential election coming up very, very quickly, that he will be on top of this. This is the same president who, before winning the presidency, and I know a lot of people are, debating whether or not he won the presidency fair and square, but that's, up for debate for a different video, not this one. This is the same president that campaigned on sending an extra $200 per month or $2,400 per year for Social Security recipients. So I can't really make heads or tails of this, guys. It's wreaking havoc on people's lives. Here you have a 64-year-old Florida man said he can no longer afford rent after his Social Security retirement payments were garnished last year because he allegedly had been overpaid $35,176 in disability benefits. He said he now lives in a tent in a woods. A 24-year-old Pennsylvania woman living with her mother and younger siblings in public housing lost the chance to buy her own home because of an alleged $6,063 overpayment that accrued when she was a child. Wow. So they messed up. They're blocking her from being able to get a home for a problem that they created when she was a child. Guys, this is just nuts. I can't make this up. So let me know your thoughts. Drop me some comments, guys. Also, if you got value out of this video, please do me a favor, drop a quick like for the video. Consider subscribing. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Take care.